Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today I want to show you the contents of my winter survival pack. We're getting ready to head down into the Daniel Boone National Forest for a 3-day trip. I thought you'd like to see what I'm carrying. Stay tuned. So whenever I'm on a backcountry hike of any kind, just like people did many years ago, I like to take a walking stick or a staff. And this is a Crawford hiking staff. Some of you maybe have seen this, but it's got all kinds of things in it. I've got a full survival kit inside, and it's pretty handy. It's very sturdy, and it comes apart. And if you're interested in me doing a review on it, leave it in the comments below. The first thing we're going to go over is my Blackbird haversack. And pretty proud of this. This is Blackie Thomas's design, and this is actually his prototype for his very first haversack. He gave this to me personally. I consider it a great gift. And I'm using this as a separate carry bag. I'm not putting it in with my backpack because I want to hang this from a tree as my bear bag when we get down to the forest. Let me show you what's inside very quickly. Show you my main foodstuffs. I have some grape Kool-Aid, which I really like for energy, and 4 packs of hot cocoa in this Ziploc. I also have potato to bake in the coals, just wrapped already in some foil. I have a couple of eggs, some garbage bags, which is very important. Always remember you got to carry everything out. We don't want to leave any trash in the wilderness. I also have a steak, which is marinated and already cut into pieces to put on a fork stick. We're going to be using this our first night out. I have a loaf here of pumpernickel bread, some loaded baked potatoes, a little bit of butter for the steak and the pan, as well as my baked potato. I also have some nutrient survival food, and I'm going to be sharing this with my guys, as well as the fact that we're going to be doing a review on this in the near future. I'm carrying one MRE. It's a ratatouille vegetarian. And last but not least, my cutting board. It's also always a good idea to have an extra day sack with you, something that you can carry with you if you just want to do a day hike, and so this will double for that. So this backpack, this is the large mountain rucksack. This is the Swedish military. I've been looking for one of these for a long time, so big thanks to Justin for giving me this pack. Like I said, I've been looking for it for a long time. If you can get one, they're really great packs. Has this large strap over the top, which helps to hold down all your gear, and very heavy duty. I've got it lashed pretty tight. It just goes over the whole top. Right here I have a Crazy Creek Trail sleeping pad, which also doubles as a seat, so I have a place to sit around camp. Also on the top here, I'm carrying my rain poncho, my rain gear, and I did a review on this. This is my Gore-Tex military pants, my OR rain hat, and of course the poncho, which also doubles as a survival shelter. And I've often found that really useful when I'm sleeping under a tarp, which I have right here. Sometimes the rain wants to blow in on one side, and I can drape that nice poncho over one end to keep the blowing rain from coming into my shelter. All right, on the top here, I have my bedroll and tarp, and we'll get into that here in a minute. Give you a little better idea, many of you know, but this is the mountain rucksack. It's got 2 large compartments for canteens, really heavy duty leather and vinyl, and it's a waterproofed vinyl type or rubberized coating, some sort of a vinyl. I'm not sure exactly what it's made out of, but it sheds water quite well. In this first pouch, I'm carrying my knife. I will of course put that on my belt when I get ready to go. And it's a Scorpion, it's a great knife. Just stainless steel canteen. And on the other side, I have my titanium canteen. This will actually be the first trip. This is a heavy cover. I've been wanting to buy one of these for quite a few years and finally got it. Of course, the cup and the cover, so I can boil water and all of that for survival. Getting into the contents of the pack, I have some bacon here. Like I said, that'll be used up. That's the only thing that is food-wise that's not in the haversack. Also have some hand warmers and extra lithium batteries for my headlight. I have my Princeton Tech headlight. This is waterproof, takes 4 batteries, throws out a really powerful beam out to a couple hundred meters. I have also my emergency thermal blanket. This has saved my life in more ways than one, I guess you could say. From hypothermia, gather around a fire, this is an absolutely fantastic piece of gear. It's something that I don't want to go to any survival situation without. I also have a balaclava and knit cap for sleeping at night, along with a pair of gloves. I have my backup charger for my phone. Also, of course, my fire kit, and I've done a video on this. Give you an idea, it's a very complete fire kit. It's got everything I need in it, and if I can't get a fire started with this, then I'm really in trouble. Next, I have my maps and a book by Tom Brown Jr., grandfather. I like to read at night before I go to sleep. Also, I have my hygiene kit, which is some deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, some soap, and some toilet paper. Also, my frying pan, which is in this case, and this was given to me by a very good friend of mine. And inside's the frying pan, salt and pepper, a spoon, and some scrubbing sponges that have the soap already put on it and dried. So all I have to do is wet it with water and I can scrub things down. I'm carrying the Silky F180 saw for this trip, and of course it's really lightweight. I've used this a little bit around the property, but I'm going to take it out into the backcountry and see how it does. Of course, I have my first aid kit, and this is a great thing to have along with you. There's got a lot of things in here, and it's very useful. Next, I have a waterproof pouch, maybe outdoor research, and in here I have some small things like handkerchief, some sewing needles and thread, a little bit of medication in a jar, just various things in case you need headache medicine or something like that. I have a diamond sharpening stone, one of these Frontier water filters. That's great if you need to just drink along the trail. A few nails, of course, always handy. A little bit of duct tape. Some large blanket pins, several of those. And last but not least, a measuring tape. You don't ever know what you need when you're out in the back country. So this little bag doubles as my possibles pouch. This is just kind of a repair kit, more or less, for odds and ends of things. I'm also taking my Gransfors Brooks wildlife hatchet, and I've used this for lots and lots of years. It's a great tool and for building shelters and chopping firewood and such. The rest of the items that I have in here are all clothing. It's just stuffed in here. I have my fleece, wool socks, extra changes of skivvies, and t-shirt and shirt. And I've also got my large wool anorak in here. And I always carry lots of extra socks. That's one thing, your feet will get really sweaty when you're out hiking around. These are 100% boiled wool. They're 4-layer thickness, and I may do a review on this at some point as well. But these are absolutely awesome socks, and they're actually sold from a family business here in Columbus, Ohio. So that's a pretty neat thing to have along with me. One of the things I like to take are warm sleeping clothes, and these are just polypropylene sleeping pants, as well as a polypropylene shirt. That's a good thing to have. And in the very bottom, as I told you, is my wool anorak. So here it is. It's got a large hood on it, and it's just really useful for keeping warm at night around the fire and in the early mornings. The last thing that I have in the pack, in this zippered pocket, I have a spare key for my vehicle, 2 large contractor garbage bags, a tourniquet, and my cordage. And I keep this stuff at the top so it's easily accessible, and especially the tourniquet, first aid kit's right at the top. So even though this kit looks pretty big and bulky, it's not really that heavy, maybe 20-25 pounds. And with the bulk of this, about half of this, is just clothes. And that's very typical for a winter trip. It's not supposed to get really cold. It's supposed to get down into the 20s degrees, somewhere like that Fahrenheit, and but it'll be chilly enough. All right, now my bedroll, just held together with some of these surplus Swedish military leather straps. Takes 4 of them to go around the whole thing. And this is a pretty simple deal. This is a Tent Smith's oilskin tarp. It's 8 foot by 8 foot. And inside I have my thick wool blanket and also my ground sheet. Very simple. It's not a whole lot. It's one reason why I have so many clothes. The clothes I can wear during the day, I can swap them in and out. I can layer up at night, wrap up in this next to a fire, and I can be really good. So this is just a real handy thing. I don't have a sleeping bag on my backpack, and because with a good warm fire and a properly made shelter, it should be just fine. So this is what it looks like when it's on. It's fairly compact. Carries good. I got most of the weight to the top and against my back, as it should be. And yeah, I'm looking forward to taking this pack out. It'll be my first time with this specific pack. I've carried the smaller Rucksack 71, so I'm really looking forward to testing out the mountain pack. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And while you're down there, you'll also find our waypointsurvival.com link. And this is where you can sign up to take great survival and bushcraft training classes here at our facility in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.